It's the day 4 of me journaling myself and talking to you guys with no edits, no cuts, having a raw footage in front of you and just have a conversation so that I can clear up my mind and I can share my thoughts with you guys. Today, we will be focusing on how many times I have switched my personality to my identity to become something who I always want to be, but I always copied someone and which leads me to lost my identity. It's very important for me because my entire transformation in high school happened because of how many times I have copied the celebrities' identities. Sounds weird, right? Because celebrity and identity is what exactly you're trying to say. Okay, so I have this habit of watching something and then doing the similar things what I watch. Like whatever I capture, whatever I watch, I understand it pretty well, then I'm going to apply it in my life automatically. That's the thing which I have faced in my life that happens to me most of the time. So, what I have realized is when I was in my 8th standard and I got rejected from every single person in for a relationship. All the girls have rejected me for sure in the 8th class. I have saw my transition in my 9th standard where I have got the recognition I always want to. And I have done that by doing the simple thing which is watching the celebrities which I really admire and try to adapt the habit and try to think that I am that particular person and how would they react. Just in my head, how would they react? I never met them, I never saw them, I never know them, but yet I tend to apply to those particular things what they try to do and apply it in my real life. What it has done is it has given me a good recognition. It has changed my personality in a drastic way. And that's what I think because that's how I have focused my life into. But I don't know what's the reality behind this is, but whenever I think about any person whom I admire really and tend to be that particular person, I can do that and love to copy someone a lot. Like I have this habit to copy anyone whom I admire the most. And that's what I have done in my earlier stages of my life. But there's a catch in it because that's made my life like a lost identity. I have just never focused on myself. I never realized that I should learn about myself first rather than focusing on the people who I tend to be. Rather than focusing on the person who already becomes something with their own self. By knowing themselves, they have reached to that level. But what I am doing is just copying them and losing myself completely. I just forgot who I was, what I like, what I do not like. I just tend to focus on one particular thing that how that particular person is. And that's all I did. That's all I have did in my earlier high school life to my initial after the dropouts year of my life. Like after high school I have dropped out for an entire year and yeah, I have done this exact same thing. And to be honest, it never helped. It helped in the way of not getting rejected by people, but I don't think I have used it correctly. I should get to know myself more rather than just focusing on who that particular person is. And that's the problem. I just faced it all the time. I just faced, like, if I do not copy that particular individual, I'm going to lose myself. That's what all I think about. If I'm not being this, then who am I? If I'm not being that particular person, I'm nothing. If I am not copying that particular identity, I am a lost individual. And that's all my mindset was when I was young. Like last 4 5 years have reflected me a lot, have changed me a lot. I have this book of Jay Shetty, which is Think Like a Monk. I have used this book quite a lot, I have read it quite a lot. And not just this book, but his podcast, his things, I have listened a lot of them. And what it leads me to do is to focus on myself, learn who I am, and learn what I really like, what I really admire, and what this individual wants to be, not the particular individual I am following to. And that has cleared my mind immensely. That has given me a greater clarity than anything ever can. There are so many chapters in this book, there are so many podcasts out there who's just there, and it just affected my life in a very positive way. I'm not promoting any of those things, any of these things. I'm just telling you what I have done and what I have faced. And it's absolutely amazing when you actually get to know yourself, because when you start to do things which you really like, it's the best thing in the world, because no one is there to stop you, no one is there to question you, because you are doing what you love. And that's the top level of satisfaction you can ever get. That's what I usually faced and felt in these 3 4 5 years when I get to learn how to do all of these things. By asking myself questions, by sitting myself, I have made this overthinking video, the earlier one, and in that I described I overthink a lot. Every single time, smallest to smallest thing I overthink. But that overthinking helped me in a way to know myself. That's a big win, because if I am not getting to, I don't know who I am not the person who can learn about anyone else. I need to know myself first, and then I can trust anyone, to know anyone, and to be with someone. That's the clarity I want to get, because I'm just so much thinking about all of these things quite a lot. But now that I have shared, and now that I have get out in my out from my system, it's better. So that's it for today. And if you really want to do something, and if you really want to get to know someone, try to know yourself first, because that will change everything. I'll say it again, that will change everything if you'll get to know yourself first. See you in the next one.